Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back. So today I'm going to do my first of probably not many, but I'll at least do this one. Maybe like one more down the future if I make it to 60. But, we're starting a hardcore challenge tomorrow. Not starting it. We've been doing it. But we're doing the Road to Ragnos tomorrow. For those that are watching this, I don't know why I just did this random video. Road to Ragnos is the hardcore community is going to, with Seasons of Mastery launch today, going to attempt to get to 60 without dying. We have one life to get to 60, get Prebis, farm, 2 weeks of Molten Core. You know what I mean? We have 2 weeks to do all that. Whether or not we will, who knows? That's what the thing is. Anyway, that's what this build is about. I get asked all the time in the Warlock Discord, or not the Warlock Discord, I'm sorry, but the hardcore one, and all the time on my stream, what spec I'm running, what I think the safest build is. I think this is going to be the safest build for Warlocks in hardcore Road to Rag or any kind of hardcore challenge. Remember, hardcore challenge is about surviving. Okay, I don't care about how much damage. I know that if you want a drain tank and you want all this right away, it's more damage. But we're not there for damage. We're there for straight survivability, which is right here. Okay. So I was going to go over my talents and why I think it's the best one. Okay, starting with the differences in builds. So the main two builds you're going to see for hardcore are either drain tanking with affliction down here, right? Or demonology. Now, drain tanking obviously is more damage. We already know it's the fastest way and it's more damage, right? We're not here for speed. We're not here for damage. I'm here for survivability and making it to 60 without dying. And for that, I will be going demonology, soul link, okay? So the first 5 points is I'm choosing to put them in the imp corruption. I don't want to have this on the cast time. It's shitty. It feels like shit. And also, at the same time, there's too many other situations where I wish that I could cast this. Like if you can imagine casting it for 2 seconds versus just putting a dot up and being able to back up and get a little bit more range, right? Like I'd rather get back up and get more range. There's many other reasons why. You're running from a mob. Say you just need a little bit more damage on them. You can't stand and stop and pump. Let's put a dot on them. You know, it's quality of life. You don't need this. But I will say that if the only difference of you're going to end up with this regardless. The only difference of this right now is those beginning levels being a lot cooler. A lot cleaner, right? A lot smoother versus going all the way down here and then getting it, after that, or whether you want to do, then we're just going to show you the demo. Obviously, you're going to want Demonic Embrace. This is your stamina. This is giving you guys a lot of stamina. We don't care about spirit that much. It's not that good of a talent for us since we have life tap on top of this, making it worse anyway. So you're going to want this right away as the first 5 points. After those 5 points, I immediately go into Imp Voidwalker. Reasoning for not getting Hellstone right away is you don't really need a lot of Hellstones low level. You'll find some shitty potions on the ground too. And remember, you still have Hellstones. This is just not, this is 20 or 40%. What is it? Yeah, 20% less. Right, so I don't really worry about it right now. I go straight into Imp Voidwalker. This whole build, the bread and butter of the build is the Voidwalker. The Voidwalker carries. The Voidwalker will carry for you, and he does a very, very good job at it, right? So now, threat obviously is going to be an issue with him all the time, right? But it's not that big of a deal. It's not even close to as big of a deal as you actually think it is, right? So Imp Voidwalker before Imp Hellstone is a must. Imp Voidwalker, especially at the lower levels, makes him tank God X. Make sure when you're using the Voidwalker to not go fully ham on these mobs, or you'll pull aggro. Just toss like a corruption in. So pretend it's a single target. You send your Voidwalker in. You got a corruption, you got an agony, and you wand him. Maybe an immolate, corruption, agony. The reason I wouldn't say immolate is at the lower levels. If you immolate, corruption, agony, you actually pull aggro. And not only that, but that agony, you might as well not agony. So if you're gonna do, I do 2 dots. So if you want to do immolate and corruption. But don't do all 3 dots because the agony you're just wasting at that point. And then obviously wand or drain life if you need it. Drain life is kind of low to low level, so I wouldn't really worry about it. I almost would rather finish the mob sitting down and drink. Okay. Yep. So you just want to keep it simple, keep it safe. You will eventually get a feel for your Voidwalker and how much he can tank, right? Which is more than what you think it is if you haven't known. But he tanks for quite a bit. You will eventually get a feel for your Voidwalker and how much he can tank. Thus, you can adjust how much damage you can do to the target. Be wise while multi-targeting. Okay. Pulling 2 or 3 mobs is not as smart ever in a hardcore. However, it's nothing for us, to be honest, due to this build. You should in no way be trying to fight 3 mobs. But sometimes it happens. In any multi-target situation, your first move is to do nothing and let your Voidwalker hit all 3 of the mobs before you want to engage in them. This ensures that he has aggro on all of them. I've seen too many people die on the hardcore challenge when they accidentally pull 3 or 4 mobs, and the first thing they do is do dots, and they think they're okay, then they pull out the aggro. Versus having your Voidwalker attack X, attack Skull, attack Moon, attack the 4th guy or whatever. You're not going to have him marked, but you get it. Yeah, you just have him attack all 4, then he has aggro, then put your dots up, okay? Anyway, with 2 or 3 mobs, let him attack first. So he gets with 2 or 3 mobs, I let him attack the first mob, and then he gets a taunt off. Once his taunt gets off, I then will send him to the second mob. Once that taunt gets off, then I'll send him back to the first mob. Okay. Now after so taunt goes off the first mob, I send him to the second mob, and then I double dot the first mob. And then after he gets a taunt on the second mob, I send him back to the first mob, and I let him finish that first mob off. Meanwhile, I'm second dotting and blowing up the second mob. It's okay if you pull aggro on the second one because you can. It's only one. I would say, by the time that mob, whichever one you choose, runs to you, you should have all your dots on them and you're already draining into them, or you're shadow bolting you're wanting. So that you're not gonna have to worry about like dying or anything to that one mob. Yeah, it's really easy to tank with him. Just let him tank everybody. You want him to tank as many people as you can. He's healthy too. Remember, if he's taking 3 mobs or 4 mobs, this is a bad situation. You run, right? But if something happens and he's taking 2 mobs, 3 mobs, pick him up and let him tank him, and you just pull one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. So I know you don't have to do this, and that you can kill all 3 phase tanking, but it's not smart. You never know when random shit happens, okay? If a taunt gets resisted, if you crit, etc., etc. Voidwalker starts to fall off aggro-wise in about the late 40s, 50s. Late 40s, early 50s, but he's still very manageable. Not only for the tanking, but for the Voidwalker stack and the AoE taunt, and, of course, Feldom. All right. After Imp Voidwalker, I go straight into Imp Hellstone. This is a big-ass potion. No need to go into detail about it. I get it after Imp Voidwalker and Demonic Embrace because you shouldn't get hit much at all once you get a Voidwalker. So the extra healing can wait. To be honest, I only get it now because you have to drop down to another tier talent points anyway. So it's, you know, mix these with your potion. Mix these with potions that you find on the ground that do not share cooldown and you're comfy healing, okay? Fel Domination is what makes this build the safest. Paired with Master Summoner, you'll be able to pretty much instantly get a pet out. Well, it's a half a second, but whatever. As you can imagine, this is very important for us Warlocks. It's our best oh shit button, okay? Imagine, if you will, we already have a Voidwalker out, and all of a sudden shit goes south for whatever reason. You know, it's a hardcore challenge. You never know when shit goes south. And you have time to run, so you start running. But now your potions are on cooldown, your training dummies down, you know, so you sack your Voidwalker. Ooh, you sack him, you get all your health back, and now you're running. But for some reason, these ads are still on your ass, bro. They're still on you. You don't know why. So instead, what do? You Fel Dom, and you instantly get another Voidwalker out. And when that Voidwalker comes out, guess what? It refreshes all of his cooldowns, so now he can AoE taunt, and he can taunt. Of course, this is only if you have not attacked a bunch of other mobs, right? And of course, you can then sack him. On a Fel Stamina, this obviously just makes your Voidwalker last longer. Fel Intellect is actually trash. I don't really care about it, but it's a filler, so I need that 1 point. Unholy Powers where your damage, Unholy Powers where your Voidwalker will start hitting quite harder. More damage from him means more threat generated, meaning you can kill whatever target is faster, okay? Master Demo is absolute best in slot. I love this. It's straight damage. Look, it reduces physical damage taken by 10%. It's huge. It is so big. It's for you and your pet. This is really nice. You're gonna want this right away. And obviously Soul Link, which is the whole reason we're here, right? It's the whole reason we want to come down here. The main reason we took this spec. Here, look, 30% all damage taken casters is transferred to your Voidwalker. This is huge, okay? I'm gonna put in the description, I'll put a weak ore that will help you track that. And also I will put a weak ore to help you track some dots too. After Soul Link, now is when you can choose to either go Affliction or Imp Spellstone. So I think I'm going to go Imp Spellstone for Western Plague Lands and Eastern Plague Lands, which actually leads to this next thing. Use your Spellstone. You need to use your Spellstone. The Spellstones are huge, okay? Spellstone, not only is it slightly more damage due to your crit, but it also clears all magical debuffs and then gives you a huge shield. Keep it on and use it when you're doing a quest or grinding dangerous casters, okay? As for Affliction, don't ever worry about suppression. I mean, you can if you want. This is subjective, right? But I'm not in a hurry to level, so I don't mind reapplying a dot if it gets resisted, right? The more you miss, the less damage you're doing to the mob, personally, which means the more your Voidwalker will have aggro. I know it's a funny way to think about it, but whatever. And thirdly, I can use that 5 points. That's 5 points. I can use that elsewhere, right? Imp Agony is just flat, straight damage. Like, it's amazing. You'll be using this as your main curse 98% of the time you're leveling. The only time you won't be using it is if you need to apply Curse of Recklessness. Let's talk about Curse of Recklessness. Now, Curse of Recklessness will be your best friend. If you fear a target and it starts to run towards any mobs that will aggro, if you put a Curse of Wreck on the mob, it overrides the fear, making the mobs run back to you. This works for humanoids that run away before you die. Easy keybind this and use it all the time, okay? Keep rank 1 only. Here is an example of what it looks like. Hey guys, I'm going to show you how Curse of Wreck works real quick, okay? So notice how I fear. Watch how I fear this guy. Now, what Curse of Wreck does is it stops them from running, which means, look at that. They stop running because I put it on them. Now you run over here. Now as soon as you override the Curse of Wreck, it will then start running away again. Curse of Wreck stops it. Override it. Stops it. It's really handy when it gets far away. Look, chase me, chase me. It overrides it. Ignore the fact that this is TBC. It works the same. Speaking of down ranks, let's downrank Curse of Recklessness, downrank Agony, rank 1, and use it for juggling your feared mobs. Downrank Life Tap allows you to get mana in situations where you otherwise can't max rank Life Tap. Do not buy any Grimoires outside of the ones for your Voidwalker. It is a good idea to get Blood Packs for dungeon runs for your Imp, though, as well. Speaking on pets, though, for dungeon runs, do not make us look bad by pulling enemies with your pet. It's very easy to accidentally pull shit in a dungeon. You guys already know this, okay? Use your Imp and let it be phase shifted and Blood Packed it. And otherwise, if you're scared of your group, you don't really trust him, then keep Voidwalker out, but on passive and next to you to send him into any extra mobs to help you take pressure off the healer and the tank. Yeah, that's it, guys. I just want to go over a quick little build on here and some little tips. It starts in 3 hours, man. I wish you guys the best of luck. I know this is a random video. Like, I'm pretty sure not everybody in the world's going to watch this, but it's okay. That's not what this is about. This is for the small niche people who it will help. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.